Hello everybody, hope we're all doing okay today. Welcome to the second video in my Halo modding tutorial, and today I want to cover making the Warthog fly, making it shoot some weapons, and also, as suggested on a comment on the last video, giving scopes to weapons that don't normally have scopes. So this tutorial is going to cover some more advanced techniques, so I do recommend, if you haven't already, to head back to my first video, get to know the basics of assembly, and swapping out some assets there. Without further ado, let's jump into assembly and get to it. Okay, so before we go any further, we need to take the very important step of backing up all our Halo map files somewhere safe and out of the Halo directory. This is because the changes we're going to make today require us to save the map rather than poke the changes in, and if Halo is running, or if you're saving directly into where the game files are, you're on the very real risk of permanently breaking your game and needing to reinstall it. So just to make sure we're doing this safe and properly, we're going to take all our Halo map folders from the directory, you can see here, and copying them somewhere safe, just in a folder on a separate drive maybe. And once we've done that, we also want to take the map we want to mod and put it into a separate map for just mods. You can see I've got a couple here, and I've already took Sandtrap and put it into a separate folder, just so we're not changing any kind of game files inadvertently. It's all separate and safe. So I've got assembly open with the map. Let's get to it. Okay, so we want to make the Warthog fly, and to do that we're going to go down to the vehicle tab and open up the Warthog. Now I want to make the Warthog fly like a Banshee, so I'm going to open up the Banshee as well. And the way that the vehicles move in the game is dictated by what engine they have. So if we scroll down the Warthog menu until we get under the vehicle tab, we can see there's a bunch of options here for the different engines of the different vehicles in the game. And we can see that engine motion means the Warthog engine. So what we need to do to make it fly is we need to figure out which engine the Banshee has and swap that with the Warthog's engine on the Warthog tab. So let's move over to the Banshee, scroll down to the same section, a little bit further down, and as we can see, the engine that the Banshee has is the Alien Fighter. So what we need to do is go back into Warthog, we need to remove this engine block and then add in the Alien Fighter, but as you can see that's greyed out currently, and that's because the engine block already exists for the Warthog engine. So to remove that, we're going to go to Engine Motion Properties, head to the right hand side by this cog, and click Add or Remove Elements. And the element means the block, basically. So we're going to see this element count here. We're going to click minus and reallocate. And you can see it says the block was freed successfully, and if we go back into the engine section, that's completely greyed out. So the Warthog currently has no engine, so we need to give it the Alien Fighter engine. So similar to what we just did, we're going to click on the cog icon next to Alien Fighter, add or remove elements, and this time we're going to click the plus icon instead, reallocate, and then the block was allocated successfully. And we can then click the plus button and see all the different variables of the engine that we can change. So to make it fly, all we're going to do is copy every value in the Alien Fighter block under the Banshee tab into the Warthog section. So I'm going to do that and catch up with you in a second. Okay, so as you can see, I've copied all the values exactly as they appear in the Banshee tab over to the Warthog tab. So all we need to do now is save the game. So we're going to click the save button, and as you can see straight away, changes saved to the file. These are the only changes we need to make that require the game to be closed when we're adding and removing blocks like that. Anything else we can do to tweak the Banshee, or the Warthog Banshee now, we can be doing by poking it in. So I'm going to close this down. I'm going to head in to the folder we saved that to. I'm going to copy it and go back into the Halo Maps folder directory there and just paste it in. Click replace the file in the destination. Remember, make sure we have this backed up somewhere before we click this. If you get a prompt, just press continue. And that's all there is to it. So I'll load up the game and we'll see how our new Warthog Banshee thing is. Okay, so we are in our modded map. Let's jump in a Warthog and see what it can do. Perfect. We are flying just like a Banshee, which is fun, but we can make it a little bit more fun. I want this to go a little bit faster because it's painfully slow right now. And I also want to be able to shoot from the driver's seat. So let's tab back into assembly and we'll see what we can do. There we go. So we're going to open the map from the Halo directory, not the modded map folder we made earlier. I'm going to jump into tags and we're going to straight up go to the vehicle section. Scroll down to Warthog. Jump straight to the engine section, and we are simply looking for maximum forward speed there. So I'm going to change that to 10, just double it, poke that in, jump back into the game, and as we can see, we're already flying pretty quickly, which is nice. But next thing we want to do is be able to shoot from the driver's seat, give it a gun. So I'm going to jump out of the Warthog here, pause the game again, tab back into assembly, and we can take a look at what kind of weapons we have. So if we scroll up in the Warthog tab, we can see there is a weapon assigned, but that is the horn. The horn is classed as its own weapon, but ideally I'd want it to shoot the chain gun that is on the back of the Warthog already. Unfortunately, if we look on the left, we can see that won't actually be possible because the Warthog chain gun is classed as its own vehicle. So while it is attached to the Warthog itself, it is its own vehicle and therefore won't have a seat on the Warthog base. So we can work a little bit around that though. If we change the weapon here to the chain gun, which would be the weapon attached to the vehicle that is the chain gun, and we check this gunner tab here and we poke that in. Let's jump back into the game and have a look. Now those changes haven't gone through for the vehicle, and that's okay. Poking isn't a 100% success rate, but because we're in Forge, we can simply pause it, start a new round, and then what that will do is just jump start the changes we've made, and we'll be able to shoot from the Warthog. If we jump over to one, as you can see, the reticle's there, and we are shooting a chain gun. It's pretty accurate, which is good. We don't need to adjust the reticle at all there. But we can make this just a tiny bit more fun, I think, by making the Warthog chain gun shoot Spartan laser rounds. So, just like the last video I made, if we head into the weapon tab, find the Warthog chain gun that we've just changed it to, there we go, and we just search for projectile, keep clicking next, we can jump to initial projectile, and just for speed I'm going to search the tag for the Spartan laser. There we go, Spartan laser beam. Okay, poke that in and we'll see if that's made the change, and there we go, straight away we're shooting Spartan laser rounds, just decimating everything in sight. And that is pretty much it for the Warthogs. Next thing I want to do is tackle adding scopes to weapons that don't have scopes. So let's jump back into assembly, because this is another thing that requires the block removing and adding, so we can't do that while the game is open. So let's talk about scopes on guns that don't normally have scopes. So there is an easy but messy way to do this, and also the right way but really long and really tedious way. So I'm not going to completely go through the long and tedious way because I just don't want to. When I say it's long and tedious, it is long and tedious. I will show you what to do and how to get started, so someone with more patience than me can give that a go, but I will show the very cheap and easy way to add a scope on, in case people just want a real quick result just to mess around with. So first things first, we need to pick a gun that doesn't have a scope and a gun that does. So let's go to the weapon tab. I'm going to pick the Magnum, my old favourite, and the sniper rifle. Whoops, that's a spike rifle. We want sniper rifle. So first thing we need to do, I'm going to go through the long method first. Click on Magnum. We need to add the zoom feature onto it. We need to give it magnification levels. So to do that, we just search at the top on the search bar here and find magnification. Just keep typing it out. There's only one option there, and you can see it'll jump straight to magnification levels, and they're currently on 0 for the Magnum. If we go to sniper rifle and search the same place, we can see there's 2 levels with different ranges, and we can just copy those over. So it was 2, 4, and 9, I believe. It was. Cool. And then we can save those changes. Now, I will say, to do this, you'll need to be opening the map from a modded map folder outside of the Halo directory, because again, if you mod stuff directly into there and hit save, you could break it. So we're going to hit save because that's out of the Halo directory. Now, we've given it zoom levels, but all that's going to happen when we zoom in on the Magnum is it will just zoom the camera in. There won't be a reticle, there won't be any kind of scope HUD interface going on. It will just zoom the camera, and that's no good for trying to kill things. So we need to change the HUD of the Magnum. And to do that, we're going to search for HUD at the very top, hit next, and you can see it will show us where the HUD interface is sitting in assembly. So this is under the CHDT tag, and instead of finding it in the list on the left, we can just press go to, and it will open a new tab at the top. So let's do the same for the sniper rifle, so we can nice and speedily get that going. So if we look under HUD widgets, this is every aspect of the HUD that will appear when you pick up the pistol, and this includes the flashing effects, the ammo counter, the reticles, everything. And if we have a little look, it shows everything except a scope. And if we click on the sniper rifle and we go through, you can see there's a few more elements, and a lot of them are the same except for the scope, and this is what we want to add into the Magnum to do that properly. Now, all we need to do is the same thing we did for the Warthog. We're going to click the cog, add or remove element, +1, reallocate, there we go, and that will appear at the bottom there, and that's empty. So what we need to do then is copy exactly what the scope section is saying in here, and this is where it gets very long and tedious. So if we just type that in, a lot of these boxes will autofill for you, which is great, but the long bit is adding in all of these sections. If we compare that to the sniper rifle and we go down to the bitmap section, we can see that's a very large section with a lot of different flags to go through. Same with placement, data, and animation. What you need to do to copy the scope completely and properly is every sub block in this section you need to add in a new block, reallocate, press the plus, and then copy everything exactly the same as it would appear for the sniper rifle scope. And if you do this for every sub block, you will, when you load up the game, be able to see the sniper rifle scope when you zoom in with the Magnum. Now, it is important to remember as well, when you are adding in these fresh sub blocks from the main one, if we compare the sniper rifle's scope one here, you can see there's even more sub blocks you got to make. So it's sub blocks on sub blocks, and you have to copy this exactly. So like I said, extremely long and extremely tedious. So if anybody does want to give that a go, show me the results, send me a message, add a video, whatever you like. So let's get into the quick and easy version. Let's load up Halo, and this is a change we can actually poke in. So let's jump into this. Okay, so we are in the game. Let's spawn a pistol, and we'll see the quick and dirty way of giving it a scope. So as we can see, we pick up the pistol. We did change the magnification levels before, so if I zoom in, you can see it just kind of zooms the camera in, doesn't really do much else. So the easy way to give this a scope is if I pause it and we tab into assembly, we'll head to the weapon tab, find the Magnum. There we go. And we're going to search for hood, just like in the long version. And instead of going to the tab, all we're going to do is swap the Magnum's hood for the sniper rifles. So if we just search sniper, straight away it comes up. Click it, press OK. We will poke it in, and if we head back into the game, we can see, if you look at the top right, it is the sniper rifle's way of displaying bullets. The scope is different, but if we zoom in, it is an accurate and fully functioning scope. It just doesn't quite reflect the bullets in the magazine correctly, until, if I keep going through, it does eventually go. And that really is it in regards to scopes. You've got a cheap and dirty way, a long and proper way, and I've also shown you how to make some pretty badass flying Warthogs as we've gone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit of a longer one, a little bit more complicated techniques. There's a lot more to come, so do make sure you're liking, subscribing, and commenting any ideas you would like me to cover. So for now, see you all next time, and peace.